Well, that was unexpected. Well, hello, Glue Troopers. Max of Max's Models here. And a couple of things. First off, I want to thank everyone that made the live stream. I hope you had a good time. I did a little research and found out that the Cessna 620 we talked about last night, its ultimate fate was it was bulldozed. And I don't mean by accident. Apparently, the idea of a four-engine, eight-place corporate commuter airplane with nominal speed was considered just the worst possible marketing idea. The airplane was deemed to be completely unmarketable, and it became such an embarrassment for management. The stockholders at Cessna were furious. So the management team plucked off the engines and took out all the valuables and had it run over with a bulldozer. That's according to a website that I've linked below. That's kind of sad. I can see the idea of a four-engine plane like that if you're going to be doing a lot of island hopping or something where multi-engine aircraft are required. And that way, at least if you lost an engine, you'd lose 25% of your power instead of 50%. But outside of that one little niche, it was a pretty useless airplane, if not a really cool one, at least in my humble opinion. But there you go. So I went out to do a little bit of work today in the Tarbus, and it only took me a couple of minutes to create an utter catastrophe. All I was going to do was just a little bit of light work, spray the underside of the tractor trailer rig black and let that set, and maybe do a little work on the van. But what's that old joke about when you're up to your elbows in alligators? It's hard to remember that you first set out just to drain the pond. Well, I put the black coat on the bottom, and since this trailer is going to be derelict, I wasn't really concerned about a little overspray because I'm going to be grunging the thing up. But I set it on the table and on the little lazy Susan with the fan going to dry, and I turn around, and son of a gun, if I don't know if the fan rotated the lazy Susan or what happened, but it fell off the table. I mean, literally, it was just sitting there, and it fell off the table, hit the floor, broke in half. No actual real damage. I mean, it all popped along glue seams, fortunately. And since I had a little trouble aligning it, this will give me a second chance at trying to get the alignment better. But I found it really, really just annoying that you set something on a table and it's flat and it's square and somehow it manages to fall off. So I playing with it. Okay, I'll get it tidied up, not a problem. And I decided to go ahead and use the black paint to give it one more little coat. Now that at least there's some areas exposed, I can touch it up with a few shots of black paint. And in mid-stride, my paint just quit working. It just stopped. And the can is about 40% full. So I start playing with it, I pull the cap off and clean it. My wife even cleaned it, still doesn't work. And at one point I tried switching out the nozzle with one from a similar paint can. Turned out they weren't quite identical. So it did discharge, but before the thing was sealed. So I wound up getting my hands completely coated in fresh black paint. So after spending quite a bit of time cleaning them, because it's just a little touch up, I don't need to waste a pair of gloves for that. Yeah. Anyway, remember, every attempt to save time costs time. So finally, I was about to throw the can away, and I realized, wait a minute, this one can is taller than the other. Let me get another short can. For some reason, they use different internal nozzle shapes, but the yellow had the exact same type of nozzle as the black. So I put it on, and sure enough, the black worked fine. So it's the nozzle that's bad. I just threw it away. These two will just have to share the nozzle. I made it just an infuriating mess in no time. And to add insult to injury, I thought I would soak the nozzle in some acetone, see if maybe that would clear up something that might have plugged it. I fill a paper cup full of acetone, set it down on a flat surface. This is the second flat surface mishap. I set it down on a flat surface on the table, but it was on top of that paper, that brown construction wrapping paper I used to have a fresh work area. And the paper, when a little of the wet acetone hit it, it buckled just enough that it flipped the entire paper cup of acetone across my desk and my work table and created an enormous mess. And at this point, of course, the fumes in the tarbus had gotten so bad, my eyes were starting to burn. So I had to turn the fan on, open the door, and walk out. And I cleaned up what I could, got myself cleaned up, and everything's just airing out for the rest of the day. I won't be doing any more attempted building. Like, okay, I'm taking the message from the guy, styrene gods. Stop working. Today's not your work. You have to go to work tomorrow anyway, so just go in the house, make your video, and start getting ready for work. Ugh. When the styrene gods drop you a little hint, you should listen. Anyway, guys, hope you're having a better day of building than I am, but nothing we can't fix. And remember, every little bit of damage you do is just a challenge and an opportunity to show how good you are at fixing things. Well, take care of yourselves, guys. Hope you're doing well. And as always, model on.